Welcome to KRA's The Hub, the official podcast of KRA Corporation. And now get ready to hear workforce topics and trends you need to know on the go.
Hello, Ed. Welcome back to KRA's The Hub. This is Doug Foresta. Of course, I am joined by Jonathan Overall, Director of Workforce Operations Program Performance for KRA. And our special guest today is Sandy Mead. She is the VP of Workforce Development for Metrics Learning. Jonathan, Sandy, it's always great to be with the two of you.
Likewise, same to be with you, Doug, and Sandy. Welcome.
Thank you. I enjoy working with the both of you, and great to see you as we continue on through the process of professional development and workforce.
That's great. Well, we really, again, want to thank you, Sandy, for joining us today. And I know we're going to talk a lot today about skilling and the future of work. But before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with Metrics Learning?
Sure, thanks. I have 23 years experience as a training provider working with workforce development areas all across the country. It's exciting for me to work from case managers to program managers, all the way up to executive directors and all different types of workforce development opportunities. But the most thing is they all have one thing in common, Jonathan. They all have a passion to help others succeed. So it's rewarding to work with community-based organizations and government-based workforce programs, having that same goal to help others succeed and to provide the positive encouragement, support, training, and opportunities for everybody across the country. One of the things I love most is I've worked with KRA in many places and different cities across the region. And with your goal to empower individuals with their knowledge, skills, and resources that they all need to achieve self-sufficiency and long-term success for workforce. My role here with Metrics Learning is to continue to build partnerships with state and regional workforce professionals to promote a Skill Up America initiative across the country. I love being a partner with multiple organizations that do develop and implement innovative strategies to help individuals acquire the skills and knowledge needed today to succeed in the workforce.
All right. So can you describe for our listeners who are not familiar, may not be familiar with the Metrics Learning platform, talk a little bit about, what that is and maybe some of the benefits of the platform.
Metrics Learning, if you think about it, is a career service tool on steroids. So it's an online training modality, a learning management system that provides over 7,000 different courses. So you've all heard of Netflix, right? This is a subscription-based model, but it's all instead of movies, it's over 7,000 different courses. So Doug, it's exciting that a person can pick and choose what truly fits their level of need to advance in their career. We also have 2,300 of these courses in Spanish. So our goal is to truly be able to outreach and reach the market and individuals with multiple arenas and different levels to upskill opportunities within. The learning platform has the ability to do assessments. They're prove-it assessments to be able to start and stop and see where a person's skill set is, have them attend a class, and then do the assessment and see how well they've gained that opportunity that the DOL is working with for skills gained. So it's exciting that our training portal is online, especially after COVID. We all know the availability and the flexibility that it offers for the participants to do the training. There's short-term classes, 20 minutes to 60 minutes is the average per class. So it allows them to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? They're able to get in there, do some training around their schedule, and know that they're adding stackable skills to their portfolio.
I mean, just to say, this is something that wasn't really possible, right? Not that long ago. Would that be fair to say? I mean, when we talk about the future of work, I mean, to have, like you said, like I think of it at Netflix, like that wasn't possible 10 years ago, right?
Absolutely. Technology has changed so drastically, but I think COVID and the pandemic put a put online training on steroids even more within the workforce office. So it made everybody realize how valuable the ability of online training is. But on the other hand, it also made everybody aware how detrimental it can be, right? When COVID hit and everybody was going to school, they didn't have access to the training. So digital access is a huge concern today. And I think COVID made that happen for all of us and made it realize the value of online training and access to the different portals that are available.
I think that's a perfect segue, Sandy, is you use the Netflix illustration and just how technology, the pandemic, and I know that there are a number of factors that we could look at how the world has changed over the last several years, and as we advance both economically, but also in the workforce. And so if you could talk a little bit more about what you've seen and how the way that we learn, how the way that we train has changed. And if so, and what are some of the ways that you have seen that change take place over time?
You know, there's no doubt that online training within the workforce centers has changed. Before COVID, you never had a workforce center doing, orientations via Zoom, or Teams. Now, even well after the pandemic, we have workforce offices still working remote, still working with customers in a remote orientation atmosphere, and even technology, submitting their required documents over technology instead of having to bring it in and with a physical copy. So it is amazing as how much it has changed over the time. Testing centers, we did some testing for CompTIA's A+ or medical certifications. And in the past, to take a national exam, a person had to attend a proctor testing site, prove their ID, lock their stuff in a cupboard, go sit in a computer that is monitored with cameras, and take their national exam. Because of COVID, that stopped, right? Nobody was able to get certified for a long time because the testing centers were all closed. So they have reached out and learned how to proctor national exams in an online format. And today that still continues.
So Sandy, obviously you have a unique vantage point because because you talk to workforce, boards and professionals all the time, all over the country. What do you see as, what are employers most looking for now? There's always that thing about, soft skills versus hard skills and credentialing and micro credentialing. What are you seeing that employers want most from potential candidates?
No, that's a good question. And you're right. There's a big change from today than when there was 5-10 years ago. It was always the college degree, right? Where there's no doubt today, it is a mixture of both. The credentials prove that an individual has the skill set and the knowledge that the employer is looking for. So national certifications can usually be achieved in an average of 6 months or so. And those national certifications help the individual have the advantage as they're looking for jobs. It gives them that extra push to get their resume looked at because they have the national credential at the top of their resume. And the employers, those are key words they're looking for. So I think the mixture in today is the certifications with the workforce and the soft skills that everybody's looking for. How many times do you even get into business professionals where customer service seems to have gone out the window? I think some people need to go back to the basics and value customer service and what it offered. And as much as technology is amazing and we all need automation, which is true, we still all need to keep our focus on customer service, time management, and those workplace safety or workplace professional skills that are so needed across the country.
And just to be clear, in my meager understanding of the metrics learning platform, there are people, that what we call soft skills, some of that is in the platform as well. Is that correct?
Metrics learning is exciting and do have a ton of the soft skills or workplace ready skill opportunities and training. employers are constantly talking to us in the workforce board saying, okay, we have somebody that's skilled. Now they need those soft skills. What about interacting with customers or effective time management? Being a better team member. Every job out there, we're working with teams, right? So there's some classes on being an effective team member. Today's world, your role in workplace diversity has been a hot topic that the course has been taken a lot, as well as establishing self-confidence for life. We're all out there in the workforce arena helping to build up confidence, build up skills. So to get it reinforced in a soft skills type class is awesome. Today's world again, right? So much changes. Taking stock of your work and life balance. So the exciting part is Metrics Learning is full of these soft skill classes that we are working with different workforce offices, and we can customize the track to fit their needs.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that.
Well, Sandy, you mentioned earlier just the work that you've done as part of your background, your experience in the industry that you've worked in, and how you've worked with different organizations. You mentioned KRA, for example, an organization that you've worked with us on several projects. And so I think it gives you unique insight into the organizational lens. What would the advice be to workforce organizations that are trying to provide upskilling in an impactful way?
I think today they have to definitely think outside the box of different opportunities that are available. A lot of the workforce offices are talking about low foot traffic because of COVID. A lot of the people are still wanting to be remote and access the services that they provide in a remote atmosphere. So to be able to be aware of what their customers are looking for and what's going to benefit them as they begin their new careers opportunities. So being innovative, and one of those ways is utilizing Metrics Learning's gamification program. We have a job readiness gamification program that the student gets to play games, trivia questions, but still learn along the way. One of those topics, let's say, is paychecks. We teach them about gross pay and deductions and taxes, but it's all done in a game that they get to do in 3 to 5 minute segments. So I think a workforce office needs to put themselves in their customers' point of view and their mindset. In today's crazy world, how are they going to learn best? In short segments, online training is a benefit for them to do it around their busy schedules with families and careers and still have that chance to upskill for new opportunities. So think of different opportunities or programs out there that are different than the norm. And I think that's what they're going to have to look at today to see the success of their participants and get the breadth of knowledge that's needed for them to get the job.
All right. So, Sandy, you have, again, as Jonathan said, you have, a unique vantage point. And so if we have listeners right now, they're listening to you, they're thinking about, maybe there's more things we could be doing to be more innovative when it comes to skilling. Talk a little bit about, what advice would you have for workforce organizations, workforce leaders, if they're thinking about how do I stay ahead of the curve when it comes to training and upskilling?
Now, a lot of it is the training dollars that they have today and making sure they're utilizing them to the benefit. Metrics Learning offers training at such a low cost that one of the workforce, here's a good quote that one of my workforce directors has said, "The low cost per participant allows us the ability to expand capacity to provide equity and opportunity for everyone." And that truly is what the boards need to think about. So think of ways to offer assistance that enhance everyone in your community that is looking for that upskilling. Don't turn people away from training because they don't qualify for the typical ITA and meet those typical ITA requirements. Speaking of ITAs, they're putting ITA dollars out there. What about having some prerequisites before they go out and do the ITAs, right? Before they official it. So CDL drivers, there's a ton of CDL drivers and the workforce offices spend a lot of money putting them through training. Metrics Learning offers a track on commercial drivers. So it allows that person to say, here, let's get you experience and what to expect. Let you see some of the skill sets that are required as a commercial driver. And the knowledge that they're going to gain will provide them success as they take their official course. As the CDL, it takes away some of those nerves and builds their confidence. But it also might take the one that says, oh, I didn't realize it was this much intensity. Maybe I shouldn't be in this field. And it saves the workforce arena the funding on the ITA. Another course could be healthcare. If we offer a 10-hour track on healthcare, from HIPAA training to first aid training with some of those valuable soft skills that you mentioned, Doug. As somebody's getting approved for an ITA, first have them assign a track in metrics learning because of the classes that are available out there, the time frame they can do it. And if the person cannot commit 10 hours to do this prerequisite, chances are they may not finish the training. And therefore, it's going to save them to make sure they're utilizing their dollars and getting the best performance and outcomes and helping those that are truly benefiting themselves and willing to work hard for the opportunities and the training that the workforce offices provide.
Yeah, I think those are really good points. I didn't think about the idea of like you said, the training, the opportunity is not just, oh, I did this course, inside the metrics learning platform and I love it. It's also, this isn't for me. And now you've saved me, right, as the job seeker, and you've saved the workforce board. You've saved me time, and you've saved the workforce board time and money, right? Because I'm getting more clarity on what I actually would want to do.
Absolutely. It offers the ability for the participants to come in there, do some career resourcing, to look at different skills and courses and say, do I like this? Will I be interested in this type of opportunity or this type of job that utilizes this knowledge base, whether it is in the healthcare industry and doing some first aid classes, or that truck driving, or getting into IT. Everybody says, I want to get into IT, right? Good money, good career opportunities, and IT isn't going anywhere, but they don't realize the intensity of getting your CompTIA A+ certification. So before spending the bigger dollars on an A+ certification, they could go through metrics learning and do a prerequisite in an IT program. And that's going to help them realize and gain the foundational knowledge before they go into an ITA for A+, or go, oh, this is not for me. And therefore they didn't take their time or their opportunity, right? Each individual is only allowed so much official federal training dollars for them. So it saves them an opportunity of not wasting it in a career choice that they realized was not for them. So utilizing the tools in both ways is a great advantage.
And what I hear in that too, also, and tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe part of that cutting edge too is, was it Henry Ford said you could have any color Ford as long as it's black? And, I think in workforce for a long time, we've kind of had this, here's the 3 boxes or here's the 4 boxes of programs, and, you choose from these 4. And what I'm hearing in this too is the possibility for customization for individuals' unique situation.
We can customize it for individuals' unique situation, but also exciting is we can customize it for workforce boards and their grant or their project, right? We're doing some summer youth programs right now, and they have 2 weeks to do it in, and they have to cover these topics, and the participant has to do 35 hours over this 2-week time frame. So we're able to go through and pull up the different topics and courses within metrics learning and customize this 2-week training plan for a summer youth program. We're utilizing that job readiness gamification program to keep their interests. So we're adding new technology and games to keep them going, but we're also able to customize it in the needs within the grant and the requirements that are there.
Sandy, you shared a lot of great insights today for our audience, and really appreciate your time and for you walking us through your role and really from your background and experience, what you have seen. Any final words for our audience today before we close today's episode?
think one of the things that workforce boards are working with is not only just helping those that qualify. For all these years we work and we approve people with barriers. We're helping people with barriers to get to the next level, which is great. But there's also that group right above them that are struggling to get by, but they're making it payday to payday. They can't afford to educate themselves, and they don't qualify for assistance through the local workforce office. Something like Metrics Learning and the Skill Up initiative that is happening across the country allows workforce boards literally to help everybody. So it opens the doors and the services for individuals in their region. It doesn't matter if they officially qualify or not. They want to help upskill. It helps employers upskill their own staff in this type of online format that the workforce offices are arranging. So I think in today's world, it's how do we upskill America, not just those that have barriers, but let's take it to the next level and truly benefit everybody across our region.
That's great. Well, again, thank you, Sandy. I think there are a lot of things that we can walk away with today, thinking innovatively. Hey, there's a word out there, gamification, for folks to begin to strategize on, and really thinking across the board and serving a wider scope of America and providing opportunities to upskill. So Doug, again, it was great to be with you this afternoon, and all of those that are listening to today's podcast. Thank you for tuning in and joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Hub podcast.
Thank you for listening to KRA's The Hub. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about KRA Corporation, visit www.kra.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back soon with a new episode.